Hello, everyone, and welcome to Time to Talk with Ty. We have Charisma Sutton here today with us, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the home ownership process. But first, we have something for you guys to watch.
I wanted the grandpa to be here to tell you that you bought your first house. Shut up. And I'm so proud.
Welcome back. We're here with Charisma.
Hi.
And she is she's just, as you can see, getting into contract. So this has been a little bit of a journey for her. So now a little bit of background. You guys who tune in to my show have seen Charisma talk about different aspects of her life on this show before. But this home ownership piece is something that she has done. We've talked about, of course, we share the same grandfather. We are cousins and sister cousins. So she's actually been going through this process throughout the transition of my grandfather passing and all of those things. And it's just something that we really, as you can see from the video, we're so excited about it because we know that it's a milestone for her. And it's something that he would be proud of. So I'm going to let her talk now a little bit about her process. Offering on homes and all of those things.
So just the backstory from the video that you guys saw. 2019 has been an extremely rough year. I used to tell people, like, I feel like I'm getting punked. Like, this is not life. So in February, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I was going through the emotions of that. Trying to be there for her, knowing that, okay, I'm in the first home club, my time is running out, I need to figure it out. My mom was diagnosed with cancer in February. March, she had her surgery. May, she was considered cancer-free. June 13th, my grandfather passed away. And it was just, I felt like I was just completely lost. I didn't feel like I had a purpose because for the last 10, 11 months, it was consisted of going to work, making sure that he gets to his appointments, making sure that he's eating, stopping by the house, making sure he's okay. So for the first time in a long time, the focus wasn't my mom or my grandfather, and I could start putting the focus on myself. Mm-hmm. I did the first home club. Basically, I was saving $188 a month for 10 months. I had actually started that process, I want to say, at the end of 2017. And then it just kind of got put on hold. I used to tell Tasharda, oh my God, I can't wait to move out. I'm ready to go. I can't wait to move out. I'm like, I just want to go get an apartment. My parents are driving me nuts. So just to set the record straight, I got a lot of slack about still living at home with my parents. I'm 27, but my parents never forced me to move out. Right. They told me to stay as long as I needed to stay, save my money, and when the time is right, move out.
And they also told you that you're not going to rent when you move out. You're going to purchase your first home.
Correct. They did say that. So as bad as I wanted to leave, I was stuck there. I graduated. I graduated college in 2014. It's 2019. So I got my pre-approval 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. 3 weeks ago, I got my pre-approval. I had saw this townhouse that I was in love with. I wanted to get it so bad. They didn't accept my offer. They accepted someone else's. We then went to go see a townhouse in Churchville. I fell in love with it. I was in love with it. I wanted to get it. They accepted my offer, but it was some in-betweens that we weren't quite aware of. Mm-hmm. So with the townhouse comes with homeowner association fees. Right. So it would have actually put me like $20,000 to $30,000 over what I was qualified for.
And moving out on your own, as you guys should know, be aware of, when you are a first-time home buyer, you do not want to overwhelm yourself when you first move out on your own.
Right.
You don't want to be in over your head, or as they say, house poor. You don't want to move into a house and you're not prepared for the mortgage and the RG&E and all those things that come with it. So we were very concerned about that and putting her right where she needed to be budget-wise.
Right. I hate that budget word.
Yeah, that kind of gives her anxiety. She likes to spend money.
Yeah. So
And that house was further than your mom wanted you to be.
Yeah,
also.
My mom was not excited. So I really believe my mom prayed against the house.
I'm like 100% sure.
I'm about 100% sure
because she texted me on the side like, yeah, that's a little bit too far from me.
So, that was last Saturday. I was devastated. So I had a conversation with the twins, Christina and Crystal, and they said, well, your prayers aren't specific enough. You prayed that you wanted to get an offer accepted. Your offer got accepted. You need to be specific with your prayers. I said, okay. So Christina was like my second realtor because I would text her at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Can you let me know have you seen this house? Can you let me know? I want to text to Sharda and tell her I want to see it. So Tuesday came. I got a notification on my phone. The house was listed at 7. By 7:15, I was texting to Sharda and Christina. I said, sis, I want to see this house today. The listing agent was not getting back to her. And she's like, well, maybe we just need to wait until tomorrow. I'm like, no. We have to see this house today. I want to see it. I ended up leaving work. I went to meet her at the house. And when I walked in, I said, this is my house. And she was like, what? I said, this is my house to Sharda. I said, this is my house. I said, I'm claiming it. I said, this is my house. She said, okay. I said, go put an offer in and we'll go from there. So as I was leaving to go back to work, I kept praying. I said, Lord, what is for me? Allow it to be for me. If this is for me, do not allow me to struggle for it. Just allow it to come to me. I prayed that all through the day. When I left work, I drove past the house and I said the same thing. I said, Lord, if this house is for me, let it be for me. Fast forward to the next day. We didn't hear anything. I'm stressing out. I don't know what's going on. I'm at work shaking, texting people like I'm shaking. I don't know if I got it. I want this house so bad. And I kept saying, God, if it's for me, let it be for me. And I'm going to just leave it at that. My mom is asking me questions because she didn't see the house.
Right.
So
because she was back at work at the time.
So she's like, well, what do you think? Do you think you got it? And at this point, I feel like I'm a little frustrated because the 3 offers that I had put in prior to this one, I was getting outbid. You know, I got a townhouse, but I couldn't afford it. So I'm at work and Tasharda sends me a text message and she goes, can you talk? I'm like, oh, here we go. I said, yes, I can talk. She said, call me. So I call her. She's like, can you come outside? I said, outside where? Where? Outside? Where? How you know where I work at? She's like, just come outside. Come outside. I'm like, so now I'm in a panic. I'm like, is everything all right? Like, what's going on? And that's the video that you guys saw. Before I said, what's going on? And then it went into that. And I feel like out of all, the best thing that I can say is delayed but not denied. Like, I have went through so much in 2019 from the loss of my grandfather. Like, that was a huge blow to me, this family. And before he passed away, he used to say, you know, you need to start saving your money. You need to save your money. You need to put 20% when you get paid. You need to take 20% out of your 401k and put it into your 401k. 20% of your check, put it into your 401k. I said, Grandpa, that's more than you give to God. Like, what do you mean? So as soon as I had found out that I had got it, I called Tyler, which is my cousin, and I'm just crying. And he's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, I wanted to call Grandpa, but I called you instead. I got a house. So that's the process. It was, I know that some people have, it's taken a lot for them to get to this point, but I feel like mine was quick. I got pre-approved 3 weeks ago, and
we put in 3 offers.
And by the 4th one, I got it.
That was it.
Yeah.
3 times. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But and a little bit of the backstory, when she was anxious about hearing about the offer, and the listing agent, by the way, is great. Of course, I'm her agent, but the listing agent was great, but she could not get in touch with the seller, and a lot of times that creates so. I can only go by what she's telling me. Charisma can only go by what I'm telling her. So behind the scenes, it's kind of like a nightmare because you're waiting to hear. I'm waiting to hear, and she's saying, I can't get in touch with the seller, but by, tomorrow morning, can you give me a little bit of time? And I'm trying to get her familiar with the grant because a lot of agents don't know about first-time home buyers grants. New to you homes, we've been working with first-time home buyers for over 10 years. We take it upon ourselves to know about every grant that's out there. We work with every grant, we work with every bank, and we know the ins and outs of the grant. So a lot of times agents don't know that if they get a client, a new to you homes client, and they have a grant, they're nervous about the grant, but they don't know that the agent on the other side is very familiar with working. The loan officers are very familiar. The attorneys that we use are very familiar. So it's still a very smooth, seamless process. So please give us a chance out there. I know it's a seller's market, but if you have a first-time home buyer and they're using a grant because they are due first-time home buyer grants. Like that's something that they should be allowed to use. And I know it's a seller's market. I know that it's just a name on a piece of paper, but as hard as she's worked and saved, shouldn't she have the same opportunity that someone has that doesn't have they were $1 over the income guideline, so they can't use the grant? It's just a very difficult market for our buyers. So it's like one of those things where I feel like it finally, when Charisma got into contract, I said, wow, I feel like things are finally turning around. And I told my buyers who've been looking for 2 years, yes, I have buyers that have been looking for 2 years, 2 years and longer, that there is hope. I said, listen, my cousin just got into contract. She has a first-time home buyer grant. There is hope for you. Do not give up. I have a lot of buyers that are getting quiet, but in a lot of ways, when Charisma got that house, like she said, we've been kind of struggling since my grandfather passed. It kind of gave me new energy. It gave me new strength. It said, you know what? This is your job. This is your career. You're here to help people. If you down and out, and I could never take that time and fully grieve because I still had people who wanted to see houses. That's one of the things. You just have to keep it moving when you have your own business. But it made me feel like when Charisma got that house that I had, everybody out there had a chance and an opportunity to get into contract. And because she believed and she used those specific prayers and she prayed on what she wanted. And honestly, when we walked in that house, it was so perfect, picture perfect, doll house. The yard is amazing. Like, it's just so perfect. I felt immediate pressure to get her into that house. When I'm working with my family, I cry. I know my husband hates it. Like, I cry real tears. I'm anxious. I feel like it's my house all over again. And I have like a full-blown panic attack. So I knew I was talking to the listing agent. I was at Taco Tuesday talking to her. I was texting her. I was giving her the lowdown on the first-time homebuyer grant. I was talking to her while I was at the Lion King. I mean, I was like, in my mind, I have to get this house. There's nobody else is going to get this house but her. This is her house.
And because that time it was just different. Like, I was like, oh, I like it, I want it. But when I walked in there, I felt like I was overcome with emotion. Even that Wednesday when I was going to work, I had drove by it again and I'm crying. I'm like, Lord, what am I crying for? Like, why am I crying? And
that's the feeling. I tell a lot of my buyers, they don't know. They're like, oh yeah, I like it, put in an offer. But I'm like, do you feel the house? Are you connected to the house? That is the feeling that people get. And a lot of buyers will tell you, that's the feeling that you get when you walk into your house. That's how you know that's your house. You connect with the house emotionally and you feel that house.
Right. And my mother, her opinion means a lot to me. It was times that we were going to look at houses and she wouldn't get out the car.
She wouldn't even get out the car.
She's like, no. I can tell. So for me and Tasharda to go and my mom not be there, and then for me to put an offer in and the offer to get accepted, in her mind she's going crazy. But for her to go when we went to the inspection and for her to go and be like, I like it. Like, I can see you in this. I like it. I felt like, okay, that's, the final stand.
She loved it. Yeah. And it's very close to her. It's very close to the mall, too, which you're going to have to just stay away from the mall. But it's very, very close to where her mother is. And that was important for her mom. That was important for her. And that's one of the things that as a first-time home buyer, I have a lot of people, I say, well, what location do you want to be in? Oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter. That is like, you're not even ready when you say it doesn't matter, because I know there's places that you know you don't want to live. So you have to know and recognize places that you're open to living to, but you actually have to be open to different places. Yeah. Drive around the area. Like she said, she drove past the house. Drive around different times of the day. Drive around when it's nice outside and everyone's out and, you know, the kids are playing and things like that. It's very important. But I'm just so glad that I was able to be a part of this, that you guys were able to share and be a part of Charisma's journey. And after she closes on her house, we're going to have to go by and take a look.
Yeah, come on by.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.
Housewarming 2019.
Yes.
Thank you for watching Time to Talk with Ty. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel and my blog at tytime.com. Join me for more amazing guests and topics, and also feel free to comment below about this episode or ideas for upcoming episodes.